Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're working on a program called ROSY, and it's designed to produce the spirals you get from circles in circles. And we've come a long ways, but I noticed last night there's an update problem, and then we have some controls and other things we'd like to do. I think we're just going to wrap up today and call that the project. But I'd like to clean up these things first. I've also got some design things we want to work on, but it's there. It works. It's cool. All right. Let's see. So we don't really have any tests. We've been doing this all in kind of a spike mode. And let's see. So I did notice this problem though. Let's turn preview on. Okay. So we got the canvas, and what we're seeing is a problem around updating the view, and I don't think it showed up in the preview. At least I didn't notice it until I ran. So let's, here we go. So we're not going to get any warnings or anything, but you can see this is the 3-level version. So this is sort of the epicycles, cycles within cycles within cycles kind of thing. Usually you get the same thing you'd get like a spirograph, trademark somebody. But this one is much more complex of a picture. Okay, but if I run this in the app, we're going to get a slew of warnings. And these come up as purple markers, and that means they're really more of a runtime violation of a constraint or something. Here you go, all those purples. If I hadn't been on this tab, I wouldn't see them. Okay, but notice these are changing. Okay, so we're getting a warning that you can't modify state during an update. Okay, it's undefined. And sure enough, we do that. Let's go find it. Okay, here's timeline view. So timeline view animation, it just ticks along at some speed. We don't know what it is. My suspicion is it's trying for 30 or 60 cycles a second, but if it doesn't get it, it doesn't care. In any case, you run through things, and here's the complaint. Appending, modifying state during the view update. So this is the display part of the code, but it's appending a point to it. And that's not really allowed. I don't know why it didn't get caught in here, but I also noticed I'm doing this a little oddly. I kind of did it automatically, but I probably should have thought more about it. I'm not sure the solution, but we had this set of dots, and it's marked state, which says when you update it, it should trigger a refresh. Now we don't really need that because the driver is really that animation loop, and we just redraw everything anyway. So the fact that you add it to it doesn't trigger anything as far as we're concerned, really. I mean, it may in this sense, but the solution is usually to move this out of the drawing code. Okay, and I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to move it down first. So I'm just going to draw the dots that are already there and then add a new one. Let's see if we can okay, still working. All right. It actually is one dot behind, but that's okay. Now I think the way to do this is we're going to put this in a bit of code that gets sent to the main dispatch loop. Whoops. Dispatch queue dot main dot async. Okay, so this says run this code later asynchronously from me. I don't care. Basically schedule it as an update to that dot state. Okay, now that's clearly okay in this. We got our fancy epicycle thing, But let's run the app and see if that does it. If it doesn't, I'm not sure what's up. So there you go. Okay, yeah, there we are. It's drawing it now. Okay. And all right, let's redo the preview. Okay. All right, so let's push that code in. Append dots on the main queue, so we're not drawing and updating at the same time. Okay. All right, now, and I don't know if there may be more going on, but I really wanted to focus us more on, let's see, the way all this code hangs together. I don't think PenCircle is pulling its weight. It's got one method that just converts a proportion to a radians, and then takes the cosine, converts polar coordinates to regular coordinates. And I probably should break this up some, but I don't know. Okay, so we create a circle and hold it. Oh, let's see. So where's that circle coming in? PenCircle. And we just ask it for its point. Okay, so that seems not so helpful. Okay. Let's inline circle.point. Now, that's this. And I'm really going to inline it in the sense of putting it in a closure. I mean, this is another way to inline things. The inputs have to be R, P, and center in this. Okay, that's a closure. And if I call it and then I return it, okay, so it's a different way to inline a method. Missing arguments. Oh yeah, let's pass in R, P, and center. Okay, and then this is irrelevant. Okay, so I guess I want to take a simpler one of these. Let's just draw inner instead of really inner. Get back to our more spirography kind of thing. Okay. And I guess I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's your basic. It'd make a nice stained glass window, wouldn't it? All right. I guess if you did it with 3 instead of 4. Okay, so now I don't think anybody's using circle at this point. Struct PenCircle let circle equals, so I believe I can kill that off. All right. And then I don't think anybody's referencing PenCircle now. Right. Okay, so let's take that out. I think we have work to do, but that doesn't have to be part of it. Okay. Okay, so this is running. Yeah. Let's commit that. So what we've done is let's see, we eliminated PenCircle. Okay, so we used a little tricky inline that's kind of a converted into a closure and call it directly. But now RP and center are exactly these three things. So there's no real reason to define them. We'll just do this and reformat a little. Okay, and I think, right. So this is really like three things going on. So I think it's a little bit confusing. I'd really like to take this inner calculation out. You can see it's double duplicated, so I know there's something going on there. And it's really two things. It's convert to the points and then transpose it. So let's define this code. It really is 2 radians from a proportion of double, and then it's going to be a double as well. I don't know if I want to fuss with the type system enough to make that an issue, but this thing, all right, is really this. Now, I think I could probably extend double. Let's do that. Let's make it as radians from a proportion. So let's do extension double. Okay, and he has a function as radians converting a proportion to radians. So let's just do p dot as radians. He doesn't need a proportion. It's just self. And I don't even think we need parens. As radians. As radians. Okay. Double. I'm constantly bumping breakpoints. Okay, same thing here. Okay. And then I'm missing an abstraction, right? This is really a polar coordinate. Do we want to fuss through that? I don't know. Let me stop that thing. All right. So now, does unit point have... Does it have a... No, it doesn't have a move. Let's look up unit point. I think... I'm curious if it has a transpose or something like that, or if it is an example of a point or something we can do to... No? Well, let's look for just regular point. I guess that's CG point. How do you move these things? I don't want to apply an affine transformation, even if it would work. Yeah, I really don't want to do the matrix thing for just adding two things. I'm really shocked. Okay, well, we'll define it. Okay. Now, this one is taking R and P. Well, I'm going to rewrite this a little bit. I'm going to make this a var. And this a var. And I'm going to take this and say x plus equals center dot x and y plus equals center dot y. Then I'm going to move this down a line and do that. Okay, so I'm breaking that up. Let's see. So, well, this is really converting polar coordinates to Cartesian coordinates. All right, so we can convert this to unit points because I think that's all that's working in. And let's define R and P are coming in. Okay, right. Let's define a class for it, or a struct. Struct polar coordinate. I'll just leave it there. And what has it got? Well, it's got a radius and a proportion. So I'll just say var R of double, var P of double, and maybe polar is not the best. Let's call it proportional polar chord. Point. All right, so we can create this here. R is radius, P is this. Okay, now R and P can go away. And this is really point dot R. I'm going to rewrite this in a moment too, don't worry. Point dot R and point dot P. Okay. So we have that. We have the center. Now I'd like to say to unit point or as unit point, var as unit point of unit point. Okay. And we're going to create unit point of R times cosine of this. R times cosine and r times sine of p dot as radians. Okay, because I think that belongs on there. So let's maybe make this polar point. And we'll let unit point be polar point dot as unit point. Keep up here, buddy. All right, so that means that can go away. And then let x equal unit point dot x plus center dot x, and then let y equal okay. So I'm doing these little transformations. I don't know. Hopefully they make sense to you, but within those original lines of code, it just looked like we were doing a lot of work to get them. And I think this is better, but now unit point really needs a transpose or a move by. Okay, so let's put an extension. And some of this may be there, and I'm just not quick enough to find it, but we'll take that chance. So function move by, and we're going to take center, which is inner point delta. Let's check its type. Should be unit point. Okay. Move by other of unit point, and it gives us back a unit point. Okay, and it's unit point. The x is self.x plus other.x, and y is self.y plus other.y. Okay. And we're returning that. Close brackets. Okay, and now we can do this. Dot move by center. Well, and that's even simpler. That's what we're going to return. Okay, so that's, I think I'm liking it. Okay. Inner point delta delta. Okay. Now, these really go in different files. Let's fix fraction. That can be just like double. Our fraction part is a double. We're going to return self dot. Yeah. Self dot. Truncating remainder. I'm going to let the compiler tell me where the fractions were. No. Up here. Okay. So it's delta slash speed dot fraction part. Okay. Each of these makes sense to me. All right. Let's... I'm going to shrink it up a little bit. Get a little more independent loops. And I don't know, this... Okay, so what we did basically was simplified. Well, I think we sort of encapsulated the mathematics and made that go that way. So is anybody else doing polar points that we should be looking at? RP. Screen coordinates convert unit points with a self. Okay. Move, add a line, and stroke it. That's about as little as you want. All right. Okay, I think that gets us there. All right, so what we've done is pull out mathematical objects that aren't really objects. Polar coordinate with proportions, extensions on double, and unit point. Okay. But I think that, yeah, very nice. All right, I think that expresses pretty well. So we're going to take, well, let's see, do we need... Right, so this is really given the time interval, which is really like a number of ticks or unit seconds or something. How do we calculate the point that would be drawn at that time interval? And we need the radius, the speed, and the inner circle or inner cycle. And maybe this is circle. Let's change that name. I had too many circles running around before, but I think this really is a circular wheel that we're spinning. So let's treat it as that. Okay. But all we do is convert the time to the proportion and then create a polar point out of that and move that by the inner point, by the center. So our drawing point is relative to our center, basically. So, okay, I think that's pretty good. As unit point, good. That's clear. That's clear enough. I'm a little ambiguous that this is really proportions to that, but okay. Now here, the dots, I still have a concern that we've got a lot of dots kicking around. And like this thing is still drawing. Well, 10 minutes from now, he's still going to be drawing. And I don't know, that looks like a few thousand points probably. Okay, it's closed its loop, but it's back around on the circles again. I mean, it's very compelling. I mean, I always like these pictures that, you know, it gives it a 3D look and everything. But it also is just wasting time at this point. Okay. So that's a concern. Let's see, what does my to-do say? Fix modifying state. Well, we did that. Okay, pass in the cycle. We did not do that. Parameterize and add a bar. Okay, that all sounds like good stuff. Cycle to the view. Okay. So my concern here is this stuff is really fixed. None of this depends on the timeline, the context, or the size. It's all dependent on the parameters and that stuff. So I think to some extent, I feel like I want to pull this part up a level and say, when you create the view, you ought to tell it the cycle it's going to be drawing through. And that's, I think, our next step. Now, really, this should be configurable and, how many deep do you want to go and all that good stuff. Okay, so that computation really is inner cycle. Okay, so let's give this a cycle. Content view, let's say init. Well, we don't even have to do that. It'll define one for us if we just give it something it doesn't know what to initialize to. At state, let private var cycle of type cycle. Okay. And I don't know if I can. Well, I can probably pull this out. Let me try that if I can. I don't know if I can initialize it this way, but equals that stuff. Okay. I'll move this out eventually. I just want to get this now. Okay. If it lets me. I'm just going to return inner for now because I think that one we have is easier to work with. Function produces expected type cycle. Did you mean to call it with this? No. Okay, yeah, it's complicated, but it gets it out of here. Okay, so this goes away. This is not inner, it's cycle. Okay. Okay. Well, let's run it this way. We have a little bit of a glitch in the startup there, don't we? Well, let that run long enough to get the back around. I think that maybe from that first timeline call to its initial one is longer, and so it's acting up like that. I'm not sure I have a solution. Okay, again, I'll let that finish its loop. But I think I will accept that now the timeline, the content view depends on the cycle. Okay, so let's say commit that. Pass cycle in rather than building inside the view. Okay. How are you doing over here? Oh, okay. Oh no, there is a little glitch there. Okay. Again, I'm not sure. Cause I think that the fact that it's a long line like that, it's just the first time through it's got that. Okay. So that's now what I want to do is, well, I want to make this content view be the cycle view. So let's rename this. I'm going to embed it in another view at some point. All right, and I want to run tests, but I have no tests. Okay, so this is rename content view to cycle view. And we pass it a cycle, so that feels right. Okay, now I want somebody else to own it. Okay, I made up my little comics. I'm going to consult it. So when you have a state, you basically pass it into a binding. So the parent can own the state and the child can own the binding. Let's go ahead and recreate a content view. I mean, that's sort of the generic outermost views name by default, so I don't mind using it. Let's do content view. And actually, I think I can save Swift UI view. Okay, and I'm dumping this stuff. Okay, we get that. Well, actually, it's not the same as the one it generates originally. Invalid redeclaration. Oh, our cycle view probably still has one. Okay, so now in my body, I'm going to put, let's see what I have now. I just have that in the middle. Let's make a horizontal stack. And I'm supposed to, there are tools that are supposed to kick in when I've got this thing open like that. All right, text, well, I want something there. It can be that for now. And a cycle view. Okay. And well, let's see how that looks in the big size. It looks, oh, we're not calling it. I'm going to say it didn't look like we were doing it. We want content view. Okay, I mean, not justified, not anything like we want, but it's a step forward. Okay, so we'll add content view for overall, for top level view. Okay, so the other piece I want, let's see, we pass in the cycle to the view. We've kind of done that. Now we want to make the content view own that. Okay, so make content view own the cycle. So he needs the state. We'll just do this for now. So I'm moving the ownership up. And now this thing should complain. Oh, I need to take out. We'll make this a binding cycle of cycle and no longer define it here. Okay. Somebody should be complaining. Like right here. Yeah, there we go. Cycle view initializer is inaccessible to private. Okay. Cycle view. Okay, usually your state is private, but your binding doesn't have to be. I'm pushing more towards public these days. All right, but it should be complaining. I'm not sure. There it is. Okay. Missing argument. So we had to pass in the cycle. And we're going to pass in cycle above. With the $sign says wrap it up in a binding and pass it in. Okay. So let's see if that's going. Failed to build. Okay, I'm still missing something. Probably the content preview. Yep. Well, cycle. Let's just give this cycle dot absolute. I don't know if that'll be a dot. No. Okay. I don't know if we'll be able to see one little dot. Instance member cannot be used. How do you do that in here? Ugh. Stupid stuff. Maybe he's not state. No, he's got to be a binding. Right. Constructor in place. Oh, I do have to use static. Okay. Oh, it is a static. It's a static function, so it needs access to a static field. All right. But like I said, I don't think we can get that here. Let's, well, Well, let's go ahead and create one. Let's just do a circle. Radius, speed, and center. Speed and center. Good. Okay. Alrighty. That's our preview. All right. So the content view, eventually I want to get this thing constructing it somehow. Okay. So I think, well, I kind of just want to have other state. All right, so somehow I need to get these fields set. And I don't know. Let's, okay. I'm just going to create the state and go from there. Let's see if we can, say radius 1. All right, so that's those three. Unfortunately, the way they do things, you can't use this value in here, which I really, really wish you could. Let's get our, yeah, cannot use instance member before self is available. Okay, so I think what I want to do, okay, let's put that back till we're ready to switch. Okay, what I want to do is give an init. Well, what I really want to happen is if you change these values, yeah, I think I can do this with an init. Okay, so init, once the values are set, at the very end, I can call defer, and then it has access to those fields. Okay, so I'm gonna try this. All right, so I'm gonna do all these things, and then I'm gonna say cycle equals inner. Okay, and I'm gonna start this one at dot absolute center. Take out all this. Now I may be getting myself into a hole here. Okay, I don't use really inner. Am I getting a preview? Oh, absolute center. Okay. Preview. I don't know if I can do this. Cycle colon. No. Past call takes no arguments. Okay, it's just really a simple init. Okay. It's a little tricky to get the first time right here, but I think what I'm going to do is say radius 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and that's syntactically legal. I think we're seeing an absolute point thing. Can I do the change? Well, let's do. Okay, so there's R1. Now I should be able to put that in here. R1 is 45. I think I should get a circle out of this. Failed to build. Extraneous argument in call. Oh, did I? He's not. Oh, I didn't assign it. I'm still not. Something about this life cycle just trips me up all the time. Okay, so I have set. Let's move this one up. Don't think it matters, but I'm setting R1 and I'm tracking it here, and then when it really gets going, I do all this stuff and set up a cycle, which is state, and then cycle view should pick up the binding, so it should change. Okay, let's do a run, because sometimes the preview is not the best guide. Well, so much for that theory. Okay. I'll fix something just a moment. Hello, LV. Sorry, I missed your message. Okay. I'm afraid what's going on. Well, I'm getting absolute center. Maybe I could draw that a little differently. Oh, that one's okay. All right. So why aren't you? Cycle equals that. Okay. So I think I'm allowed to put breakpoints in these days. Let's break in here too. Okay, so cycle should be absolute center. I don't really put a name on it, but okay, there's absolute center. All right. And then if I step over, over, oh, my production one does not do that. Okay, I'm going to continue. Okay, let's see cycle. It should not be an absolute. Oh. Okay. I'm going to add that debug print thing, whose name I can never remember. Extension cycle is debug string. Yeah, that's it. Custom debug string convertible. It'll tell me what I have to define, which I think is just debug string. Debug description. Okay, let's switch. Well, it's kind of like this stuff. Return circle of r equals radius. Speed equals speed. And inner equals inner dot debug description. Okay. Let's roll again. Oh. Okay, can I step in? Cycle view. Huh. I'm not getting anywhere. Okay, let's print cycle. I had some stuff on debugging these things. Okay, it's absolute center. What? So I assigned it and it didn't change. What does that mean? Cycle. Have I used the word twice? No. All right, I'll run again. See, that one looks right. Inner. And it points to absolute center, but then cycle is still... okay. After is cycle. Okay, let's print inner before these two. Okay, I think this is just going to reveal that assigning cycle doesn't change it, which is like, no wonder I'm a little confused. Ah. That thing inner is definitely not an absolute center. Okay. I guess Swift UI assigning state in initializer doesn't affect it. I can't be the only person without having run into this. Ooh, do I need that underscore? Yeah, I always forget this thing. Map state. Okay. Golly. So because it's marked state, it creates this underscore version that gives you access to the inner type. Cannot assign value type. State of cycle. Is that what they did? At state. Map state equals. They're assigning the state, and that seems like what they're doing there. Cycle equals inner. Cannot assign value type cycle to state of cycle. Okay, so the type of this is state.cycle. State of cycle. Inner dot. No. Wrapped value. This is not promising. Cycle.wrap value equals inner. Okay, I mean, this seems to be the problem I'm having. Binding. Yeah, I mean, you can pass binding event and then use that. That's not crazy. But I don't think it's... Okay, let's see if somebody else has a better example. State var initialization. String equals list of letter. Doesn't let you change state and initialize it, but you can initialize it. Yeah, state. Okay. Don't initialize it and then set it, huh? Okay. Well, but I can't get access to those things, can I? If I'm not in the defer, I really want them to get access to it. Okay, take out that. Are you guys okay? Okay, so let's try. I said create this. So cycle equals state with initial value. Let's enter. And don't initialize it. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Okay. It's funny because if some languages let you just assume they're defined in order, then you can use them in other things, which seems very natural to me, but obviously not universal. What I want to do is say if you change them, well, maybe I should just do this with all of them. What if I did? Let's start them this way. 45 R2 is 15. R3 is 10. Let's assign these two as well. And then use radius 2 and radius 3. Okay. Cycle. Okay, take out that print. Take out these two. Okay, take out this. That one should not be used at this point. All right. Run that. Okay. Ugh. So we moved cycle initialization over to content view. All right, but the good thing we have now is these values that are private like this, I think we can use them. We can change them, and then that should redo some of these others. And we'll have to work out how to trigger them. We probably should clear out what's there already. But we'll get there. Okay, so I'll take that out. All right, well, we've been going a while. Let's take a little break, 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll pick up making initialization of making it so you can control these values and go from there. All right, see you in about 3 or 4 minutes. Hello and welcome back. Okay, one thing I realized is now that I'm working on the state directly, I don't need to do this mess. I can just say enter. All right, and then I'm gonna change this. I think this should be 0, and then we can use enter. And I need to work on these names. Yeah, so if the inner radius is 0, I don't think we're doing anything, so that's okay. All right. Now, here, outer radius, I'm just going to use R1, R2. R1, inner is R2. That also tells me I'm probably not right on this one. For my epicycle thing, I probably need R2 minus R3. And that's why I wanted 0 there. And then this one is R3. Well, let's raise this back to 10. And kind of my question, yeah, I think this is looking more like I would think. Okay, our other one just kind of drew all over itself. I think I made it act like something with a much bigger circle in effect. Okay. Yeah, we're getting a kind of triple levels of circles in here instead of one level. Definitely more complicated, but I think more accurate. Okay, R1 outer radius. Is anybody using this anymore? Inner radius, nope. Okay. And let's make this C1. Cycle 1. Okay. I believe this is what we want. All right, now to do, make content view on the cycle. Okay, it does. All right, now parameterize by radius and spin speed. Let's just say radius and spin speed. Okay. Oops. I hope it's really streaming. Okay, let's see. So, parameterize. Oh, it's going to redraw now. I don't want to wheel around. Okay, so what I'm envisioning is instead of hello world, I want a view that's got like radius 1 and a little slider 0 to 0.5 because it should be at most the width, half the width of the screen for the big circle. And another one for radius 2, another one for radius 3, And then also these speeds, they have to come from somewhere. And I think that will do it, but I can get the radius in first. All right, so hello world. I don't know. Do I want to make this? Well, let's make a VStack. Now, how do you do this? Is it? Nope. That's it. I can embed it in a HStack. Now, okay, let's give him a little breathing room. Maybe. Oops. 200. Still some room there. Okay. And you're going to do that every time I hit a space. It's going to take a while. All right. I'm imagining a view that takes, well, eventually it's going to take specify a radius and another thing. So what I need is a control. And I forget how this probably has an example. Right. So on editing changed is what we see. Setting false. Well, that's not really helpful. Okay, it changes red to blue. I don't know if I can drag. Nope. If it's editing, it's red. So while I'm dragging it, it's red. Okay, but I can do stuff when it changes. Okay. So let's just put one in and see what happens. Oh, that's a nice, definitely more complex than our 2-circle version. All right, so here we have a slider. We need a speed. Well, let's do radius 1. In 0.0, I don't know if I can do it like that. Up to 1.0. And then we'll just do nothing here. Okay, so I do have a slider. All right. Well, let's put some text. I really meant for this to be a VStack. Okay. And I can control it. Well, let's run. Now, why are you not centered? Okay, so I think we just get to see what's going on a bit, but let's see. Hey, I set it aside for this week, Parsons Code. So that's part of the tune similarity stuff. I'm doing this little spiral drawing thing instead. So I'm only here yesterday and today this week. So did a little short segment on this, but we've got it running. I just want to get it under control with let you set the radius and control the drawing a bit. Here we're just going to be. Let's see, where's my run? Nope. There. I just want to make sure how this updates values. Okay, so it definitely does. A little duplicated, but probably no harm. All right, and then I think I'll put this. Well, what I want to do is rebuild my cycle and make it so that the changed radius affects it. Okay. So this, well, this almost, yeah, this is almost like a little helper thing I can do. Okay, so if I pull these in, I just want to get this stuff and return cycle 3. Okay. And then here I should be able to call cycle equals, I think I can say self dot make cycle R1, R2, R3. Okay, this. Okay, let's make sure. And I'm not really doing testing, I'm just kind of spiking it out, playing with it. Okay. Oh, I am messing things up when I do the initial, aren't I? We'll have to consider that one more. All right, so I set all these values, make the thing. Now, if radius 1 changes, I want to say cycle equals self.make cycle radius 1 radius 2 radius 3. Don't need to print that. Yeah, it causes a problem. So, okay. And then that hello world is gone. Okay. I'm going to make this an H stack with these two in it, and then I'm going to put the maybe I can just put it up here. It may get a little crazy. Yeah, these long numbers. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. All right. That's a formatting thing we'll worry about. Okay, the real thing is this stuff triggers that. Okay, so I think I can make a view. I really want, this stuff in the view. Okay, so let's see. I guess I can put it in this file for now. Struct control view is a view. He's got a var body of some view. And oops, that's not it. Okay. He's gonna need, he's gonna contain this stuff. Okay, and then he needs a binding. Radius 1 of double. And he's gonna need cycle. Oh, he needs all three radiuses, doesn't he? Radii. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't know. This is not scaling up the way I want it to. Okay, so he can take all three bindings. He's got to have cycle. Okay. Well, can I do that? I'm giving it so much information, it's just ridiculous. Well, I could do this on here for now. I guess I mostly want to see it happen, and I don't necessarily need to make it perfect. My interest was much more in the cycle view. Okay, the stuff we did for coordinates and all that. And this is kind of like, we have to provide controls, or it's kind of boring. Okay, so if I knew the name, the three radiuses plus the one I'm actively changing. Content view.make cycle. Does he need that stuff? He does, because they're not static. Ooh. Okay. Well, this is name. And this is radius. And this is radius. And this is probably okay. Okay, instead of this stuff, I'm going to say control view, name, etc. Well, name doesn't need to be a binding. Because it won't change for any given thing. Radius 1. Build. Okay, now this, I think he's already a binding, so I don't think I need that there. Okay, I guess I do. All right. Okay. That's kind of all right. Okay, so let's see if we can get the pieces together. So control view, we need 3 of these. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, more spacers. I probably could do better on this. I think it's going to be so crowded when all is said and done, it won't feel bad. Okay. I guess if I run it, what else has to happen? I want to say, those dots are killing me here. They got to be... Like, how do we know when a new one gets installed? I want to do start date. Okay, well, we'll save that notion. Okay, so radius 3. No. Yeah, they're getting swoopy. I can't make them out. Oh, I need a clear. Okay. I'm drawing myself into corners here. This thing owns its dots, and maybe that's not right. Somehow we have to tell the cycle view if cycle changes. On change of cycle, perform something. And I think we want to say dots equals empty. Okay, so if we're going along, really, is that? Okay, let's. I mean, that kind of looks like it to me. On change of this. Oh, I didn't do this. Is that better? Cycle conform to equatable. Oh, can I get that for free? Okay, let's run. Okay, so if I change this, let go, it should start over. Hey, okay. And I'm going to change this to nothing. Yeah. Okay, I'm on track. Alrighty, so we got the radii. Now we need the speeds. Well, let's just make up some numbers. I don't think they really matter a lot. Double equals 3. Okay. Make cycle. Okay, it's got its speeds there too. Oy, oy. This. I'm going to have to pass the speeds in too. Alright, I mean, it should give me twinges, and it does, but. Well. It does, but, I know I could make a class for this if I wanted to, and maybe treat these as an array instead of a bunch of individual items. Okay, so this is speed 1 is 25. Oh, well, I guess that's speed 1. They're going to complain now, I think. Surprised if that's legal. No, this is speed 1. We'll have to pass these along. Yeah, this is just too much. Maybe this cycle change thing is the wrong place. Right. Okay. These are okay. That's the only place that's complaining. Okay. Well, they're going to have to pass in too. Radius 1, speed 1, radius 2, speed 2, radius 3, speed 3. Okay, now who calls this? Yeah. Okay, so that stuff, let's do the radius 1 to the end. Okay. Let's see if this hangs together. Okay, what's your problem? Make cycle. Speed 1. Can't use stored properties. Yeah. Okay. Let's do speed 1. Okay. And maybe this is all right. And then I also wonder why these things are not centered. Let's see down here. We have an H stack that claims to be centered. A V stack. Frame width. Well, that doesn't show me very well. I think the preview doesn't scale. Okay, if I put a spacer here. Okay. All right. Now we've got the 3 controls, but we don't have any speed controls. And if you drag them, they clear. Okay. We'll let that run a bit. Okay. Now, again, I know I'm on the wrong page when I'm passing in, 6 variables duplicated and all this. We also want the speed to be part of this. You've got a stack. Well, we really want a vertical stack. Down here. Another H stack. Okay, which is sort of similar. Okay, raise. Oh boy. Let's set a name. Let's call this radius name. And then we need a speed name. And a speed. Okay. Okay, so these are the ones we're actually editing, and if I passed that much, I'd feel better. These, let's see, speed. Let's run from 1 to 25, maybe 50, I don't know, 50. Okay, value speed. Yeah, $1. Dollar speed, and then editing change, do the same thing we always do. Okay. All right, and callers need to give us a speed name. and speed. This is 3. Okay. Okay, let's make this radius shouldn't be 1. Radius should be limited to 0.5. If this dropped to 0, it should be a big circle, I think. Oh, why didn't it? That affects it. That affects it. Oh, there's my circle. No. Speed is not resetting it. Why is that? On editing changed. Oh, because the speed. Oh, wait a minute. Speed 1, speed 2, speed 3. And cycle view. One change of cycle. Okay, so if I change speed, when I let go, I expect to see a print that tells me the new cycle. Oh, and it did restart. Yeah, I changed the radius. New start. Change the speed. Nothing. What is different about speed 2? Make sure I passed everything right. Okay, control views. Radius 1, speed 1. Radius 2, speed 2. Radius 3, speed 3. R1, S1, R1, S2, R2, S2, R3, S3. Value of speed. R1, speed 1. R2, speed 2. R3, speed 3. What? Okay, and then, I'm sorry, my print would be more understandable if I parenthesize this. Now, that is just weird. Changing speed 1 resets it, right? Changing speed 2 should reset it. Does not. Does not. Does not. Changing 3 should reset it. Does not. Radius 3 does. Radius 2 does. Radius 1 does. speed 1 does. Tell me that's not weird. Okay. Let's check that call. Control view call. Radius name 1. Radius 1. Speed name speed 1. Speed 1. Radius 1. Speed 1. Radius 2. Speed 2. Radius 3. Speed 3. And cycle. Radius $1, speed 1. Radius $2, speed 2. I'm very puzzled. Okay, we're gonna track this down. Radius name 3. Radius 3, speed 3, speed 3. Radius 1, radius 2, radius 3, and cycle. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Why would changing speed 1 market changed? Oh, no. I was going to say it's only listening to the top level thing, but that's really not relevant. Because cycle should change whenever those things change. All right. I guess we don't need that one. Content view down at the bottom. Cycle equals content view. Make cycle. Radius 1, speed 1. Radius 2, speed 2. Radius 3, speed 3. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. That part seems the same. Cycle equals. Okay, let's see if we can get it from our debugging info here. Okay, I changed this radius, I reset. Change the speed. Interesting. Haven't let go yet. Changes the speed. Well, wait a minute. Oh, 33.9. Okay. Nude circle. R1. 0.1. Why is my speed 10? Maybe I'm not initializing them correctly. Okay, I got 0.1 with a speed of 1, which seems like that should be speed 3. I don't know where this 3 would come from. Well, these should be that. Wait, what's going on here? Why is his speed 3? 10. 10. Okay. 31.03. Speed 3 does not change. What? Now, when I bumped it, it changed. Is my unchanged? These speeds are not changing. Oh, too weird. Okay. Okay, I should be able to take these off. All right, that should not affect anything. Initial speeds are 10, 3, and 1. 10, 10, 10. They're all taking speed 1. Speed 2. Something's... Okay, let me change this. Speed 1, R1.1, that's the third one. Speed 1. Inner circle, R.499. Speed 3.296. Where are these numbers coming from? Oh, sorry. The speeds, they're a complicated function of the radius, right? So the speed, oh, wait a minute. Circle, oh gosh. Well, one thing going on besides that, but notice the circles that are created are not the same as the circles in the size we're reporting, because they're the adjusted circles. So I guess I can go back to this. If you, well, you have this circle rolling around, but its position changes, it's really, the center is staying on this inner circle, and that's the one that we have in our list. Okay. Now, this should be better. But again, I've got something not very good. Radius 0.5. Okay, so change this. Oh, yeah. Changes. Okay, change this. Change that. Change this. Okay. All right. And let's give this a title. The spacing's a little ugly, but well, I can fix that too. All right, content view. This VStack, let's put a spacer and a text. Boring. Dot font title. Okay. How's that looking here? Okay, a little better. Let's take that out. I'm going to give this some padding. Oh, that's pretty good. Maybe it's just the top and bottom that need it. No, this needs some padding. Minimum length. Ugh, no, I don't want that. Padding. Bottom. 25. 50. No. Is that? Actually, I don't think it would hurt it to just put the padding on. And then a final spacer. Okay, 24 is too much. Oh, it should be half, right? Because I'm doing top and bottom. Okay. It's marginally okay. And that's pretty enough. Okay. What else we got going? Parameterize radius and speed. Okay. Well, the last thing, I don't think it's a 10-minute thing, but maybe it is. Okay, my last idea was to add a bar that kind of like half circles on the ends and rectangular-ish in the middle. Let's see if we can add it. It's going to be a control, a cycle type. Okay, and so it's a bar, and it needs a radius, and that's the size of the ends, and it needs a width, which is a double, and it's going to need a speed and a cycle. Okay, and now anybody who uses this should be complaining. Any switch statements? Okay, so let's give it sort of stupid return values at first here. Bar, its radius, length, speed, inner, return unit, point, dot, center, dot, what else we got? Anything weird that would cue us that things were weird? Okay, well, let's just use center. We're just trying to get it in place. Okay. That. Description is easy. That's kind of like this. bar radius and length equals length. Speed and inner. Okay. And yeah, we don't use those. Okay. Should be no harm in any of that. All right. Now, okay. So the deal is, I'm going to do some math here real quick. Maybe I should just fuzz it out and lie about it. But if you have this is the end. We'll just assume that's one circle, and then down here it's this and this, and then this and this. Okay. So the circumference is 2 pi r. So the distance on one side is pi r. So we got 2 pi r plus plus the length, twice the length. So I guess if you just took one, if I do the circumference of this thing, as it were, it's pi r plus length times 2. Okay, I don't know if that's enough to get us there. And my proportion is starting out pointing in the middle of the right-hand circle and then works its way up. Well, geez, maybe we need the center too. I don't know. Radius and speed. We don't need the center, huh? Okay. So delta is okay. Let's take P is the proportion. Okay. So let's let P equal same as this. Okay, that tells us how far around the thing we're supposed to go. And then I guess if P is between 0 and, well, it starts out 0 here, and from here to here is pi times the radius. I don't know. You know, I'm gonna take that stuff back out. I don't think it's worth the fight at this point. I think it could be done though. I mean, I think the argument I was just making was I can figure out the circumference of this thing, and given the circumference and the proportion, I should be able to stay, given a starting point. But I think it's going to turn into 4 cases, actually 5. We're starting 0 here. So anything from 0 to pi r over 2 is this case. And then from there to that plus the length is that case. And then from here to that plus pi r is a case, plus length is a case, and then plus pi r over 2 again. it feels doable, but I'm going to drop it. Okay, let's just clean up what we have. Take the bar stuff back out. Cycle view. Bar. And maybe we'll take a quick walkthrough instead. Bar. Okay, and run. Whoops, run. Now, why is that 10? We still got something wrong. Okay. Find 10. That's the only two. Nothing's hard-coded anymore then. Controls. Is 0 to 0.5 for the radius and 1 to 50 for that. What is going on here? All right, let's make sure I'm running. Let's do a build. Let's do a clean and then a build. Okay. That initial value, I don't see where the 10 is coming from. Only for cycle 1, speed 1. Huh. These aren't tied together, are they? 10, 10, 24. Okay. Ten, 6, that. 1, 6. 5.57, 5.82, 24. What is the initial value not where I think it is? Oh, let's see. This is SwiftUI slider. You think value would be the starting point? Minimum value label. Value is dollar speed. I don't know. Okay, my speeds come in 10, 3, and 1. Let's make this 12 and see if that changes everybody. It does. But these radius values changed appropriately. Okay, so speed, yeah, golly. Okay. That's better. Let's make this 0. Okay. Nice enough. I really do, if I were carrying on with this, I think this timeline view is clever, but not really what I want. It's going relatively slow, and it's waiting for this clock to tick around for every little point and stuff like that. And when our speeds are 13 and stuff, they're running 1/13th speed of the other stuff. So it's kind of a confusing level. Now, I'm also a little concerned. It should be more of a spirograph when this is 0. Okay, when that's 0, I think this should be a spirograph. Okay, maybe it's going to. Okay, I guess I wasn't patient enough or something. All right, that looks plausible. The only thing I can do in there maybe is my make circle, make cycle. I think if the radius, okay, let's just do this. Let var cycle upcycle equals this. This adds on to cycle. Okay, let's say cycle equals. And then cycle equals and return cycle. Okay. Cycle. So we're accumulating it around, and then I can say well, maybe I can do it this way. Var cycle equals cycle.absolute center. And now cycle equals that. Okay. But we're only going to do it if R1 minus R2 is not equal to 0. And then same logic here. R2 minus R3 not equals 0. And don't need these. Okay, let's run that. Okay, so if this is 0, it should still do something. It should do a spirograph thing. Okay, and I think we'll speed this up. Oh. Well, it's not speeding it up. I guess it's slowing it down, in fact, but it's making less stuff. Okay. In any case, I'm good with that. I'll take a quick view over on cycle view. I think the logic in here, I like this piece that says it's a recursive structure. So we know the base case is put the dot in the middle, and then we're going to take the polar point proportional to the current position. You know, we get it into a range 0 to 1 and take the fraction. So, I mean, we get a value and we take the fraction to get it in 0 to 1 range. Identify the center point based on the current time, and but the inner structure does it. So, if you're a circle within a circle, your outer circle, you're trying to find where it's located, and then take the polar point you got, convert it to a unit, and move it by some amount. And that gives you the point on the circle. So basically, wherever you are in the rotation, offset by the motion of your containing circle, and you're good. And the rest of this is kind of helpers for that. That's all fine, kind of pure math. And then the path, we're accumulating these things into a long list of dots. And each of those, we are doing adjacent pairs. Originally, we just put a single dot for each one. We moved to this line to draw the line between the two pairs, so it didn't take so long to fill in, basically. And I think that all seems good. So whenever you get an update from the animation system, then calculate the date, or the number of seconds, and draw the dots, and then whatever your last newly added point is because of this time, then add that. And so it builds those cycles from that. I'm very happy with the way the proportional thing worked out. If you can stay in those coordinates, it's really pretty nice. And you could define motion in those coordinates, I think. I don't think it's that impossible. You might have to convert to Cartesian and back, but in the unit point class, proportional point class, it could do all that work without converting back to unit points if we decided to, for a little more work. All right. So it worked out pretty interesting for me anyway. I didn't know the math coming in and kind of had to guess what was going to happen, but I'm happy with the result. So this is it for this week. Next week, starting Monday, 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, or 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. And I'm pretty sure we'll be back on the tune similarity project, comparing tunes for characteristics of them. I'm not quite sure. I think we're working our way through a bunch of defined types that we haven't supported yet. So we'll go ahead and pick up there and carry on. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye-bye.